Neil folds, and I'm sure, Neil, you're exactly like me. Really looking forward to this.
Well, this is a classic, isn't it, potentially? Repeat of the 2011 final, as we know, when John Higgins beat Judd Trump. Trump was in front in that final. Of course, he was a qualifier that year, having just won in China. John tamed him in the end. It took a long while.
I think it's fair to say, Neil, a clash of styles.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And John is the consummate pro, isn't he? He does everything the right way. Judd is, well, we want to think that he's improved in the last 2 or 3 seasons. He's no closer recently to winning it, but at least he passed the first round this year, unlike last year. He took a little while to settle, actually, in his first match, John Higgins. Not so in his second, where he led 8-0 against Jack Lisowski and finished off brilliantly with a 146, the highest of the tournament, a very rare break. 146s don't grow on trees. Rarer than 147s by a long way.
I think Trump needs to get stuck in. Doesn't want to compromise his normal style of going for them. That would be counterproductive. But he needs to play good safety. Not suggesting he tries and gets into a real tactical battle. But when it's required, he has to contain.
Well, you've got to have an all-round game in a long session against someone like John Higgins. Clearly he's a scoring player, attacking player is Judd, but as you say, you've got to hold your own in that department. I think that's what happened to Lisowski, who is a gifted left-hander, not as good as Trump. He was completely given a lesson, actually, in all-round snooker, I thought, in that match. 13-1, well, a very heavy, as it sounds, defeat in round 2.
Well, 2 reds from distance attempted. 2 reds missed by some way. And this one goes past the black.
One.
Yes, didn't hit the jaw, or even close to the jaw, actually, that one. At times, Judd has looked very good in these matches, but when pressure shots have come his way, he's missed them. Almost every one.
No.
But there were signs he was playing a lot better at the end of his match yesterday. Ricky Walden led, and then a long way in front of the next game, played a shot which turned the match around, played a very, well, out-of-character shot, which didn't have any real... It didn't really make much sense, the shot he played, and he barely potted a ball after that, and Judd swamped him at the end, which he's capable of doing to any player.
50. $60.
Well, the angle wasn't really there. He tried to force it and take the cue ball wider and into them and disturb one red, but it never quite happened. I think the break is going to end at that point. Well, I thought wrong. Great thin cut. Tremendous.
Well, I'm glad you were speaking then, Neil, because I would have said exactly the same thing.
Well, I mean, it looked too thin. I thought he would just be running away, but that's what you have to contend with Trump, you know. He's extremely dangerous. As we would say, a shot maker. Well, he's definitely one of those.
27. $28. $33.
As a left-hander, he can just reach across the other side of the blue from there, as you can see. That was a horrible kick.
34.
I haven't seen a huge amount of those, but that was two pieces of rocks hitting each other. Horrible.
Two forms of kick. One where the object ball is knocked offline. That wasn't one of those. But all of the pace out of the cue ball was taken away. One of those kicks where you heard it around the arena. You expected sparks to fly.
Yes, and I mean, again, it's possible he could keep the break going here, but he'd take a good shot. Through no fault of his own, he's finished there. Whichever way you look at this, it's hard to see him disturbing a red. He could screw into them, but it's a horrible shot, thin. And I think, even though I thought the break had ended earlier, I think he's right to call a halt on it here.
The trump, 34.
Only 34, but signs he's kind of started today as he finished against Ricky Walden yesterday, looking like he's cueing well. Yes, and it was a natural.
One.
With his hand on the table, even though he's around the baulk line,
Green ball.
your safety has got to be better than that against Judd Trump. It'd be quite remarkable if Judd was able to win this championship this year, because we've spoken about him just about every other year. Less people were speaking about it this time around. And to be honest, quite frankly, even in victory against Chris Wakelin, I think everyone else wrote him off, because he completely fell over the line in that match. He pretty ignominious sort of the way that he did it as well. Didn't have to pop with the match-winning ball, and it was almost like a defeat.
13.
In victory, it felt. So if he could turn it around from there, then you'd have to give him all the credit in the world.
A defeat in victory. I'm going to store that one away because I like it.
Well, I wouldn't normally say that, but it did feel a bit like that, didn't it? You know, we were kind of almost writing this sort of snooker and obituaries the way that he hadn't performed to the way most of us thought he should, and he said the same, in fairness.
Well, I saw an interview where he said it was the worst he'd ever played here.
20.
Sensibly backing away from the table because of the applause from the other side of the arena. That applause is for Mark Williams. What a start he's made against Ali Carter. Mark Williams makes the perfect start, in fact. A 135 total clearance. 1-0, just like that.
And that's a terrific shot, because the left-hander, and well, I would have thought the Brown might actually be slightly in his way here, but he arches back and he can reach it without the rest.
27.
Oh, this is a great start. It might not be quite in the league of, as you say, Mark Williams, who actually finished, I thought, very well against Rob Milkins last night. Hadn't played all that well before that, but he had played a good session. That was good for him to take into today. And that would have hurt had he gone in off.
34.
Barring Snookers, he'll win the first.
Trump, 34.
Played nicely there. That's a 2:34 breaks. Doesn't sound a great deal, but it was only the kick that stopped maybe the first one being a frame winner.
Higgins here will try and pot 3 reds, 3 high value colours, and keep 1 more red on the table, because his best chance of salvaging the frame would be via a free ball. And if the pin goes back on its own spot,
8.
he might be able to get the snooker that could yield that free ball.
Nine. $60.
Potting the outside red of the 2, I think will free the pink spot. Oh, he had a kick as well. Horrible contact.
From Higgins, 16. Frame conceded, frame, Judd Trump.
And John Higgins concedes. Trump